could join me today. Our sequence is going to be a vinyasa flow, bringing in some warrior poses. This is a really great practice to do if you need to ground down into your body and tap into that inner warrior, inner goddess that we all have, but sometimes we forget about. So I have a prop today, so if you want to grab a blanket or a towel, I have it kind of folded in a smaller square. We can save this for the end of class, and also you can use it when you're in easy pose to place it underneath your seat bones, which lifts up your hip bones and allows you to possibly sit a little bit taller. Maybe it's a little bit more comfortable. So just playing with those props and listening to your body. So coming into our practice today, we're just going to pull our skin away from our seat bones, grounding down into our mat. Maybe noticing if our shoulders are up towards our ears, allowing them to fall away. Maybe gently closing our eyes if that feels comfortable, or finding a gentle gaze on the floor. Begin to notice your inhales and your exhales. Letting yourself release the tension you might be holding in your jaw. Release the skin around your eyes. Allow some softening to start to come into your body. Letting go. We're going to take some nice deep inhales through the mouth and a nice audible exhale out the mouth. Think of this as I'm inhaling new, fresh air in my body, and I'm exhaling the old, stagnant air that's been in my body. So let's do that 3 times. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Feeling your body fill up with air and feeling your body pushing that air out. Let's do that 2 more times. Last round here. Take a moment here to do a body scan. Maybe noticing how your body's feeling. Is there any places that you feel some tightness? Just observing those places and sending your breath to those spots. And allowing some softness to come into those places. And then you can keep your eyes closed or allow them to flutter open. We're going to incorporate some cat-cow. So we're going to send that chest towards the front of the room. Gaze can go up towards the ceiling or stay out front. And then curling the back, tucking that chin. So we're going to inhale as we press forward, exhale as we sink back. You might feel a little scooping motion in your pelvis. Last one. Coming back to center. We're gonna plant that left palm down onto your mat. Lifting that right arm up, reaching over, opening up that right side. And then inhale, bringing that right palm down to your mat. Inhale as we open up on the left side. Gaze can be down towards the floor or kind of looking over to the left side of the room. Inhale back to center. I'm going to bring our hands back behind our head, interlacing those fingers and having that base of our hand, where our thumb, that meaty part of our hand is, having that be at the base of our skull. Elbows open to the side of the room. If they come here, that's fine. They don't need to be fully open. Just listen to your body. And then we're going to bring our elbows forward as we gently press our chin to our chest. And then inhale as we open up those arms, sending our gaze up towards the ceiling. So just working through that opening and closing of the arms. Being very gentle with your neck. Last one here. And then exhale, release your hands down. And then if you are sitting on a prop, we're just going to lift our seat bones off that prop, scoot that prop over to the side. We're going to make our way into tabletop, coming into all fours, spreading those fingers out wide. Wrists are below shoulders, knees are below hips. We're going to bring those feet up, tuck those toes under, and we're going to send our seat bones back to our heels. And we're just going to come in and out of this movement. So we're going to make our way back into tabletop. And then exhale, sending our seat bones to our heels. Opening up the back of our feet. Really feeling the sensation in those toes and those feet. And knowing if at any point the sensation becomes too much, you can always release those feet. Press back. It's kind of like a child's pose, but with our feet tucked. Last one here. And then let's lift those hips up, coming into our first down dog. Knees can remain nice and bent here. Maybe you incorporate extending one leg and then the other if that feels good. It's not a have to, it's just a suggestion. Keeping your awareness with your breath. And then we're going to send that gaze forward as our feet step to the top of our mat, finding that forward fold, releasing our head and neck. Knees are still nice and bent. Maybe incorporating shaking of the head side to side, front to back. And then bringing your head to stillness, we're going to slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Taking a breath here. Inhaling our hands up towards the ceiling. Maybe our gaze travels towards the ceiling as well. And then exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can come to shins, back is flat, gaze is down. And then bending those knees, planting those hands, finding that plank. Lowering down to your knees, if that's your plank. And then slightly shifting your weight forward, coming through to chaturanga as your arms sweep the sides of your body. pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, activating those thighs, and then pressing up off your mat. Chest rises. Exhale, release. Pressing through to tabletop, coming into downward facing dog. Taking a few rounds of breath here. Let's find that one more time. Gaze goes to the top of the mat. Our feet step towards the top of our mat. Finding forward fold. Inhale as we slowly come up to standing. Taking a breath here. And then inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands down, find your plank. Shift that weight slightly forward, lower down through chaturanga, nice and slow. Pressing those tops of those feet, activating those thighs, lifting that chest. Exhale, release, coming into that downward facing dog. And then gazing forward, stepping forward, finding forward fold. And then slowly rolling up to the top. Taking a breath here. Hands can either stay by your sides or coming onto your hips. We're going to find warrior two stance. So we're going to step that left foot back, making sure the outside of that left foot is parallel with the short sides of your mat, pressing into that front thigh, teeing those arms, gaze goes out beyond the fingertips. And we're keeping our awareness with our breath. We're going to turn that front palm up, facing the ceiling. We're going to find reverse warrior. Inhale, back to center. We're going to find right angle pose. Forearm comes to that front thigh, arm reaches up or stays on our hip. And then inhale back to that warrior two. Extending that front leg forward, hands come to our hips. Bringing that right leg so both of our feet are facing forward. And then keeping our hands on our hips, bending those knees, we're going to come into a wide leg forward fold. Bringing our palms so they're down on our mat, allowing our upper body to release and feel heavy. Inhaling, lifting up. We're going to plant that left hand so it's directly below our face. And we're going to inhale that right hand up to the sky, finding a little twist here. Exhale, release that right palm down. Right palm comes in front of the face. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Your gaze does not need to follow that. If you're feeling any pinching sensation in your neck, you can always keep your gaze down towards the floor. Exhale, releasing that arm. And now we're going to walk our hands to the left foot, swiveling that foot. So now it's facing what was the back side of our mat. Swiveling that back foot so it's facing, both of our feet are facing forward. We're going to step that right foot to meet our left, coming into forward fold. We're going to do 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A like we did on the other side, also known as Sun Salutation A. Inhale, slowly coming up to standing, taking a breath. Reaching our hands up towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive, coming into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to those shins. Exhale, planting those palms down, bending those knees, finding your plank. Shift that weight forward, lower down through chaturanga. Activating those thighs, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, lifting your chest. Releasing, coming through to downward facing dog. Staying here for 2 rounds of breath. Gaze looks forward, sending our feet to the top of our mat. And then bending those knees, rolling up to that standing. Reaching that arms up. Swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, releasing those palms down, coming into your plank. Shifting the weight slightly forward, lowering down through chaturanga. Activations happening, lifting of the chest. Release, and then coming into that downward facing dog. And then let's send our gaze to the front of our mat. Rolling up to standing. Keeping our hands down to our sides or hands coming onto our hips. We're going to step that right foot back, making sure the outside of that foot is parallel with the short sides of our mat, finding that warrior 2. Releasing any tension we might be holding on to in our jaw and our face, facial muscles. Gaze goes out beyond our fingertips. We're going to swivel that so our that front palm is now facing the ceiling, finding that reverse warrior. And then exhale back to warrior 2. Let's find that right angle pose. Forearm comes to that front thigh. You're either extending that right arm or keeping it onto your hip. And then inhale back to warrior 2. Extending that front leg, bringing our hands to our hips. Left foot swivels forward so it's facing the long sides of our mat. Bending those knees, we're going to inhale our hands up towards the ceiling, and as we exhale, finding that wide leg forward fold. Allow your upper body to release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then we're going to begin to walk our feet back together. And then slowly make our way, however you want to get there, we're going to slowly make our way into seated pose. And we're going to V those feet out. Making a nice V with our legs. And we're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale as we hinge forward, making sure our back is nice and flat. Knees can be bent. And then stop at that point where you feel that sensation. We don't want to go beyond into the pain zone. We want to stay within a nice, comfortable stretch. Keeping your awareness with your breath. And then inhale, walk your hands back to center. We're going to bring that left foot into that right thigh, squaring our shoulders off with our right foot. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale as we reach for that calf, ankle, or foot. Making sure that back is flat. So if you're here, it's perfectly fine. Listening to your body. This is what yoga has taught me, to really listen to my body. It's not about how far I can get into a stretch. It's about how am I feeling in this stretch? What is my body telling me? Do I need to pull back a little bit? It definitely makes yoga more enjoyable when we do tap into listening to what our body's saying. Inhale back to center, sitting that left leg out, bringing that right foot in. Let's square that left foot. Inhale our hands up. Exhale as we reach. And then inhale, coming back to center. We're going to slowly roll back onto our backs. I'm going to find that blanket if you want a little extra cushion as we come into Shavasana. So you can either slowly lower down, coming onto your forearms, or slowly lower down. And I'm going to put that blanket there now. Keeping those knees bent. We're going to bring that left leg in towards the body. Breathing here. And then bringing those hands back behind that left thigh, extending it up towards the ceiling. Maybe you point and flex that foot. Maybe do some ankle circles. And then letting that leg go. Bringing that right leg into the body. And then extending it up to the sky, interlacing those fingers. Kind of, you're pulling it towards your body. And then pointing and flexing that foot. And then finding those circles. And then releasing that foot down. You're welcome to keep your knees bent. Walk your feet out towards the edge of your mat, bringing your knees in together to support one another. We're going to make our way into Shavasana, or you can also extend your feet out to the length of your mat. It's up to you. Whatever allows you to feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe closing your eyes if that is comfortable to you. Allowing your jaw to soften, the skin around your eyes to soften. Beginning to let your body melt into your mat. Allowing your body to feel heavy and supported by your mat. Keeping your awareness with your inhales and your exhales. Allowing your whole body to relax, to soften, to feel supported by your mat. to that softness, that relaxed feeling. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales, and slowly start to bring in some gentle movements. Maybe that's allowing your head to rock from side to side, bringing in some movement into your fingers and your wrists, gently allowing your toes to wiggle. And then whenever you feel ready, rolling on to either side, supporting your head with your arm, feeling the ground beneath you. And then whenever you're ready, pressing up, coming into seated pose or easy pose. Eyes can remain closed or open. Bringing your hands to heart center. Thank yourselves for showing up today. Maybe giving yourselves a little gratitude.